I've seen a lot of these announcements going around, so I guess it's my turn. I'm doing NaNoWriMo! Woohoo! I have been a NaNoWriMo participant since 2007. This will be my 7th year. Holy cow, that's a long time. All throughout November, I plan to do Nano update vlogs and talk about my project as my weekly videos, but Yo Mom here on YouTube asked me to give some writing tips, and I think this is a fantastic idea. So, whether this is your first or your 7th time doing Nano, or whether you're not doing NaNoWriMo at all and you just like to write, these tips are pretty versatile. Set your goal and stick to it. First of all, you've got to set a personal goal for yourself. The proposed goal for NaNoWriMo is to write 50,000 words in the month of November, or more specifically, to write a 50,000 word novel. The reason NaNoWriMo started was to get people to write, especially people who were afraid to write because they were afraid of how bad it would turn out. The point of Nano is to write, no matter what, basically to show you that it's not as hard as you think it is, and really bad first drafts are pretty normal. My first few years I stuck with the 50,000 word goal, but in more recent years I've been attempting to plot out my novel beforehand so that I can actually complete the entire first draft in a month, no matter how long it is. I only did this once successfully with a fan fiction project back in 2009, and it was the most insane and exhilarating Nano of my life. If your goal is to finish a complete novel, especially a specific novel that you have in mind, I would definitely recommend prepping first, trying at least to basically outline your story. I find that if I know where I'm going, I don't get writer's block as easily, and trust me, writer's block is not something you want to experience very often during NaNoWriMo. Make time. If you really want to be successful at NaNoWriMo, you need to schedule time to write. Whether you get up early, cut back on reading, or skip an episode of TV every night, whatever it takes. Decide how important this is to you and schedule accordingly. Don't be intimidated. Don't think about the final goal. You want to concentrate on your daily goals and take it one step at a time. The common daily count is 1,666 words, which will put you right at 50,000 on the 30th of November. Now, I personally try and write a minimum of 2,000 words a day because I don't write on Saturdays, which is my Sabbath, and I always try and take Thanksgiving off because my family gets really annoyed when I shut myself in my room to write right after the turkey dinner. If your Nano buddies are way ahead of you on the word count, don't let it bother you. They could be on fire now and burn out in week 6. Or they could wind up writing 300,000 words. It doesn't matter. You concentrate on your goal and you stick with it. Because no matter what you're doing, this is no easy feat, my friend. Every writer loses confidence and feels like a failure at some point. Even professionals, you are not alone. Some, or a lot, of your Nano novel will be crap. It's much better if you accept this reality now. It might be so horrible that it is painful to write. Write it anyway. Perfection comes in the editing stage. Right now, you just need to get your story out there. And yes, this is how writing is actually done. Perfect prose does not magically appear from your fingertips. Talk about the man behind the curtain. Your inner editor and inner critic will kill your story and your motivation. Ignore them. One of the best ways I found to do this is to not stop for anything while I am writing. I'm not always successful at this, but I have learned that if I keep my pen to paper or my fingers to the keyboard, I don't have time for self-doubt. If I pause in my writing to contemplate something, I am far more likely to second-guess myself and my entire project. I recommend getting a timer and doing spurts of anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes of continuous writing. This was really hard for me to start because I think a lot when I write, and I am a perfectionist when it comes to word choice, but it works. The rule of timed writing is that it must be continuous. You must be writing for the entire time. You can't cross anything out. Anything you write is there for keeps. Something popular with a lot of rhymos are word wars. A word war is a sprint of timed writing in which anyone can participate, and the goal is to have the highest word count by the end. You can find these going on continuously on the NaNoWriMo Twitter account and the Facebook group, and there is a specific forum for it on the NaNoWriMo forums. You can always find somebody looking for a word war buddy somewhere. I especially love word wars because it's the principle of the timed writing, plus I have found that I am extremely competitive when it comes to these. I can sometimes get my entire daily word count in 1 or 2 30-minute spurts. Reward yourself. Whether it's dessert every day you hit your word goal, indulging yourself with your favorite TV show when you hit your weekly mark, or buying yourself a little trinket when you cross a hurdle. You are doing a great job, and you should let yourself know. Do not second guess yourself. Write. Don't think. I'm reiterating this because it's very important. Don't cross anything out. Don't delete anything. If you can't possibly live with something that you have written, color the text in red or highlight it so that you know in editing that immediately goes, but leave it in your document because you do not want to be deducting words from your daily count. So those are the best writing tips I can think of for NaNoWriMo or anytime. What I'm going to show you now are the most common 4 stages of NaNoWriMo. This is so awesome, how have I never done this before stage. You are focused on your goal and you will reign victorious. I'm writing a novel, suckers! I can't believe this is actually working stage. The novelty hasn't quite worn off yet. You've hit your first couple of rough patches and experienced your first character and plot problems, but you have persevered. This is when you really hit your stride, and often you realize character and plot twists that you didn't know before. Whoa! I did not see that coming. Yep, it happens to writers too. The what in the world have I gotten myself into stage. This is the undisputed dark age of NaNoWriMo. About now, 1 or more major plot holes have appeared as ominous black holes within your text. Your characters are beginning to rebel and you despair of ever reaching 50,000 words. What seemed so attainable at 13,000 is now impossible at 25. This is also when your previous bragging of NaNoWriMo to all of your friends comes into play to keep you on track. This is called accountability. What have I done? Why did I tell so many people I was going to write 50,000 words this month? This is when you could really use those pep talks NaNoWriMo has been sending you all month. If you haven't read them yet, do it now. And if you already have, read them again. Most importantly, don't despair. This is the worst week for everyone. Just keep writing. I don't care if you're elaborating on the backstory of some minor character. Just hit your daily word count. The push. I've only got 12,000 left. I'm going to finish if it kills me. Which, at this point, is incredibly likely. You haven't seen the sun in days. You can't quite remember the exact faces of your family members. Friends have stopped calling. Even the pets are in hiding from your increasing expletives and one-sided arguments with the computer. I am going to finish you. The pull to stop once you hit 50,000 is strong, but if your personal goal is past that, you must resist. It is not futile. Trust me. Daily word count. Writing. 5 more minutes. Rest. Nano is over. Take a break, revel in your victory, and maybe do a little writing to keep yourself in shape. After my first Nano, my 2,000 word goal was in place for a number of years, and it became pretty easy. And of course, the most important thing about NaNoWriMo is to have fun. There are groups and forums all over, not just on the Nano site, but the entire internet. I mean, how many booktubers are doing this? Lastly, I want to leave you with a nugget of hope. 50,000 words in a month is attainable. You have to work for it, and you have to want it, and sometimes it might be excruciating, but you can do it. Look at me. I've already done it 6 times. And remember that completed fanfiction draft I mentioned earlier? That was 180,000 words in 1 month. Even I still can't believe that I did that. I'm telling you this to prove that you shouldn't limit yourself and don't give in to doubt. 50,000 words in a month is a huge goal, but I think you're capable of a lot more. Good luck, Rhymos!